differentiating the natural log of x. So we're looking now at the derivative of the natural logarithmic function. So again, another one's pretty straightforward. The derivative of the natural log of x is always going to be equal to 1 over x. So we want to find the derivative of the following function. So y equals 3 times the natural log of x minus 2 times e to the x minus 1/2 cosine of x. So again, basic things you guys can remember is just make sure you put all your constants first, right? So y prime, we have 3 right there times the derivative of the natural log of x, which would be 1 over x, minus 2 times the derivative of e to the x, which is again just e to the x, and then minus 1/2, which is our constant, times the derivative of cosine of x, which in this case is negative sine of x. And then we simplify one more time. So we're going to get y prime equals 3 times 3 over x minus 2 e to the x, and then plus 1/2 sine of x, or sine of x over 2. Same thing. Now, we're looking at the differentiating the log base b of x. So this is pretty much for any base. So the derivative of the natural logarithmic function is we have the derivative of log base b of x with respect to x is equal to 1 over the natural log of base b of x. So again, if you guys don't remember from previous years, like before we used to have calculators as nice as the ones we have right now where they let us plug in the base. Most of the calculators we had just had 2 bases, which was base 10 and base e, the natural log. So here we're looking at pretty much a formula we used to use. So the log base b of x is equal to the natural log of x over the natural log of b. All right. We're using this definition specifically because we want to get something that ends up looking like that. All right. So one of the things that you guys have to remember here is pretty much the natural log of b is just a constant number, right? So this is clearly a constant. Whatever the base is, then you're just going to have to pretty much, it's just going to be straight up a number. So we can treat it as a constant. So now we're going to be looking at the derivative. So first, this is 1 over the natural log of b, which is our constant, times the derivative of the natural log of x with respect to x. And then again, that's just going to be 1 over the natural log of b times x, right? 1 over x. So we combine these two, and then again, that leads us to 1 over the natural log of b times x, all right? Just make sure you guys don't combine these two values in there. First, this is a single value, so be careful with that. And then finally, we call the two limit definitions of derivatives from topic 2.2. The general derivative, again, this is with respect to, that has delta x. We've been using h, right? So h, f of x plus h, that's for any function, right? Usually you look here to recognize the function and you look here to recognize the value. Or in this case, this one, we have f prime of c. So this is the definition of the limit at a point, right? Well, actually, this one over here, that's the derivative point, and this one is c plus h, so having a c value. So here you guys want to look pretty much for the same things, evaluate each of the following by recognizing the function, whose derivative the limit defined. So you don't have to evaluate these, all right? So you just be careful with that. So here in this one, if you guys notice, we have it in this specific format. So that's f prime of c, in this case, f prime of pi over 3. All right. That's pretty much our c value. That's our function is pi over 3. And I'm sorry, the c value is pi over 3. The function is sine of x. So that's f of x. All right. So here you would look at f prime of pi over 3. You know the derivative of sine of x is just cosine of x, or in this case, cosine of pi over 3. And in that case, that would be 1/2, I think. So looking at the last problem again, you just have to identify what c is, and again what f of x is, right? So here in this case, we can determine that f of x is just the natural log of x. And then the c value in this case happens to be e, right? Which is, if I plug it in, I can figure that out right here, right? Because the natural log of e is equal to positive 1. So c is equal to e. All right. And then again, f prime of x, right? If you just find the prime of that, we get 1 over x. And then f prime of e is just going to be 1 over